Welcome to my YouTube channel, Tutor Ayodele. Today we are going to be drawing an isometric block. So we have an isometric block here. We are going to be drawing it, and we will be drawing it in the ratio 1:1 because, okay, now let me just quickly explain something. When we say draw in ratio 2:1 or ratio 1:2 or ratio 1:1, we are talking about the dimension. That is, if we are to draw in 1:1, if we have 120 here, we are going to use the 120. If we have 10, we are going to use the 10. If we have, as we have 42, we are going to be rolling 42. But in some cases, when we have in ratio 1:1, or ratio 1:2, when we have 120 here, we are going to divide it by 2. That we are going to be drawing 60. But when we have 2:1, we are going to be multiplying it by 2. So here, all the dimensions are in millimeter. All right, so let's quickly draw that. We rule our reference point. That's where we are going to start the drawing. Okay, we see is in 30 degree, is an isometric block. So these are 30-degree set square. We also get a 90 degree that is perpendicular to that line. As you can see, the 3 points are meeting together. So as you can see, the 3 points are meeting there. All right, now we are going to look at the dimension that is given. We are going 20, 40, 20. If we are to say 20 plus 60 plus 20, okay, sorry, 40 is here. We are to say 20 plus 40 plus 20, we are going to be having 80. All right, so let's measure that. This is 20. We're taking the line. Okay. We are going to be leaving 40. There is no line passing through here. We'll be leaving 40. Let's just mark the point. That's where 40 is. Then from 40, we are going to be measuring 20. What do you notice? You will notice that all my measurement is on that 30 degree. So we'll be using that 30 degree to be as an elevation to our drawing. Now let's go. Coming to this other side, we have 120. Okay. So remember, our measurements are in millimeter. So you are seeing 120 there. That is 12 centimeter. Okay. Now we get 90 degree meeting at our 20. This way. On this point, we get another line. Okay. So on those lines, that's where we'll be doing our any meeting we want to measure. That's where we'll be measuring them. Okay. Coming up like this, we see that the distance here is 12. So 12 is 1.2 centimeter. This is it. 1.2. Okay. Here also is 1.2. Okay. 1.2. All right. So we can see that we are going to join okay, using the 30-degree set square. We are going to rule a faint line. Okay. So coming like this, we see that the dimension there is 10. We are going to take 10. And same thing on this side. All right. Still with our 30-degree, we will be coming to this side from this point. All right. So here, if you measure the distance here, it should give you 10. So you can see that. Oh, it should give you 12 rather. Yeah, 12. Yeah. Okay, so coming to this side, we have 10. Uh, let's get this faint line there. Then we measure 10 on this point, this point. All right. So if we are to get this line, okay. Now, this point, we are going to take it up. That's here. And here, we are going to take it up. All right. So the distance there is 10. The dimension, okay, rather is 12. We have 12 here. We can join here together. And with our 30-degree, let's join here together. Okay. Now we get a faint line coming like this so as to measure this distance. Okay. Now what's the distance from here to here? Although you can see it's not given here. You cannot see any measurement saying the distance from here to here. But we know that the radius of this circle is 25. So the diameter will be 50. And if the total distance from of this place is 120, and we are going to subtract 50 from this 120, we are going to have here to this part to be 70. So On that part, what we are going to be ruling is 70. All right. So we take that point, we roll it up. All right. Let's get. We roll that part. We'll get a faint line. Okay. So we see that the distance from here to here is 26. So if we have to measure 26 here, this is the point where 26 falls. All right. So going to that point with my 30-degree, I'll get a line. Coming to this point with my 30-degree, I generate another line. Now you can see a line coming up here at this point. So let's get the line. We have it here. All right. Now, the distance from here to the center of the circle is 42. All right. Okay. Let's generate the line up there. So the distance from this point to the center of the circle is given as 42. Now let's measure that. All right. Remember, from the 42, we have already subtracted 12 on this other side. So we need to rule 30. Okay. So if we are to rule 30, all right. So you actually see that if we should put our 30-degree and we generate a line here, sorry with that line there. So that's the middle of the circle, that's the center of the circle. All right. Now, since this line is 30, then we are going to rule 30 here also. Remember, we are following our construction lines. All right. So we see that here is bold. We need to bold it. And we need to bold here also. Okay, what's left from this top to where our 26 is? We are going to join them. That's this point to this spot. All right. Now you can see that from here to here is giving us 12. So before doing that, let's generate a line at this edge, meeting this other edge together. Okay, so on this edge, if we measure 12, this is the point 12. And also this part, I'm going to take 12. So we join the 2 points together. That is how we produce the line there. Now you already see this line, we can bold it, touching. Okay, so what's left? We have, we need to construct our arc, our circle. That's just an arc there. So to get this diameter, what are we going to do? Should we just use our compass to get it? No, because we are constructing on angle 30 degree already. So we can't just draw a perfect circle. The circle should be an ellipse. Okay, so how do we construct it? Remember, the the diameter of the, or let me say the radius is 25, and we know the diameter is 50. So because the radius is 25, we take 25 up, just mark the spot. On the other side, we take 25, mark the spot. Let me take this line up, okay. Downwards, we mark 25 also on both sides. Okay, so remember, you'll be using your 30-degree set square in isometric drawing. So throughout the drawing, we are going to be making use of our 30-degree set square. Now, let's just join the points together. All right. You can see I'm drawing it with a faint line because that's not the main drawing, that's not the main shape you want, but because for you to be able to construct what you want to construct, you need to put those lines. So they should be thin as possible so as you can clean them whenever you want. Okay, you can see I've generated the line. So we find the middle of the circle, that's the center of the circle here. That should be 25 because the diameter is 50 already. So getting the center, this is 25 here, we mark it. Then with our 90 degree, we generate a straight line downwards. All right, we're almost done. Now, we need to divide this part. This part to this part is also 50, as you can see. So we need to divide them. This 25, this half 25, we need to divide it into two. Imagine dividing 25 into two, that's we get 12.5. Now let's count. This is just 1, this is 12.5 here. And also on the other side, 12.5. Now, to get the curve, what do? We place our compass here and we touch this edge. Make sure it's touching the edge. Then you get something like this. Okay. Then on this point, you touch here. Then okay. Okay. Now to get these other small circle inside, see here we are told that the diameter is 20. If the diameter is 20, what's the diameter? The line that passes through the center of a circle from one circumference, from one point on the circumference to another. So if we are to say what's the radius, we are going to divide diameter over 2. That's the diameter divided by 2 is the radius. That should give us 10. So if we are to measure that, we are going to measure 10 downward and 10 upward. Same thing on this side. I'm going to measure 10 to the left, 10 to the right. Now we use our 30-degree. This is the point. So we just get a straight line with our 30-degree. Come to this point, get a perfect 90-degree perpendicular to that line. Now to the other point, a 90-degree, then to the point up here, you get a 90-degree. Here we have a small box there already. Now we do the same thing. We divide this into 2. We divide this into 2. Remember, from here to here is 10. So if we have to divide it into 2, that's 5. And we'll get another 5. Now, here I have 5 already. And here I have 5 already. Okay. So I bring my compass again on this edge, with on this point. Okay, then you draw your arc. Remember, the first one was a half circle, but this second one should be a full circle. So we need to put it on this other point also. And there we bisect. Then the middle, okay. Okay. Now we just make the 2 points, the 2 lines to meet. All right. Sorry. Okay. Now we have the circle there. What's the next? We trace this line. Trace this line coming like this. This line. So, okay. Let's bring it up a little. Now we know that the distance from here to here is what? We see it is 40 plus 10 plus 10. And that's 60. So that means from here to here is 60. Now we just measure 60 on this line. Okay, that's my 60. From that point of 60, I make a line downward. All right. Now, you can see, okay, let's say from that point, we get another line coming this way. Remember our diameter was 50. Sorry, the diameter was 50 and the radius was 25. So if we are to measure our 50, you see here is a curve also. So we want to create the curve there. So this is where my 50 stops. And this is the middle, which is 25. Okay. So those points, I need to take it up. I need to rule those points. Alright, so the same thing we did here. We come to this part. We are going to measure 25 upward, 25 down, 25 downward. This is 25 coming upward. This is 25 downward. On the other point, remember this is the midpoint. Measure 25 upward, 25 downward. Actually, you can use a faint line to join this together. Use a faint line to join this together. Okay, so you can see we already got our square. So now, what's the next step? We just divide this into 2. So our 25 divided by 2, we have 12.5. So here is my 12.5. Okay, so I get my protractor, I get my compass on this point to this point. I make my arc coming this way. Now, that's all we need to do. Then we use our 30-degree. So use our 30-degree from this point coming this way. So what we just need to erase here is this point. So there we have it. You can see that the measurement from that point to this point is 60. So if we are to measure that, from this point to this point, you can see it's 60 here. So when we measure it, it should give you 60. So if it does not give you 60, that means your drawing has an error. Now, we need to bold this line. And there we are through with the drawing. What do? You give your dimension, and so that's how to draw an isometric block like this. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell so that whenever we upload another video, you can get notified. Thanks.